But it's just like an easy mode. Hit a button, makes you invulnerable, and you go around and kill stuff.
Okay.
See you soon.
Alrighty. I've already played a little bit with the previous character, but I'm gonna make a new character now. Go through the newbie stuff. That just looks so much cooler. But I'm gonna make a defensive character this time. I wonder if I could make that not be ugly. Or rather, not just look ultra generic. No. It's like, hey, they're humans with purple skin. We're so creative. It's like, or it can be a robot. I mean, you know, a robot. I think that can't rotate. Can't rotate. I think that fits this thing kind of well. Kind of messed up. That works so well. It looks messed up. Orange would probably be best. That's pretty messed up. Wonder, I didn't... Oh, it just changes your light color. Okay. Oh, for mouth, yeah. That makes sense when I actually look at what it says it's supposed to do. Eyes. I don't have any eyes, so that does nothing. Stay with green just because. Oh, there's actually some like camo on the thing. Might have to stay with red just because it fits the rest of my armor. Until I get rid of that armor, and then we'll see how... Oh. That looks pretty, though. Like, it's not... Yeah, all of these have different camos to them, too. That's very weird. Like, that's camo, that's just solid color. Maybe this whole row is just solid color. And the bottom row is camo. That one's got texture on it, though. That one's mostly solid color. Yeah, solid color, solid color, solid color. Camo, camo, camo. Camo, 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 camo. Camo. Solid, solid, solid. I like how metallic it looks. Like, it really looks metallic, which is very nice. The shininess on it. It's not quite white, but, you know, grayish. So I really like the teal. And I'm not usually a teal fan. That's like the actual... I like light blue teal, but usually it looks seafoamy on most of the things, and that's just a disgusting color. But this actually looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if I want that to be my face or if I want red to fit my armor. I'm gonna say screw it. I like this, and I'm gonna stick with it. Now I want to change my mouth color. I'll make that blue or purple. Maybe green? Green fits. That fits. I like that. Now I gotta change the color of my marking because it doesn't look right at all. rest, that's still good. There we go. That actually looks like it's a slider, like it can slide up and down in those little grooves right there a little bit. Serves no and they kind of look like they might be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, fold in. Just like a senseless helmet kind of thing. For a head. It's helmet head. Let's go with that. I'm helmet head. But having played a little bit, I just want to talk about the things I think this does sort of well, and the things that I think this game, its mechanics do fairly poorly, and the story does fairly poorly. Like this right here, this whole opening segment, amazing. Just amazing. Sets a world up very beautifully.
Well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cade, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Let's get serious, people.
Zavala, this is my serious face. Can't you tell?
Ikora, what have you got?
Someone or something has sabotaged the Skyline defense systems.
And comms have been spotty for the last few hours. Every sensor beyond the wall has gone dark.
Maybe it's just the storm. Maybe it's... What are the set feeds telling us?
Nothing.
Well, that's good, right?
No. I mean, they're not there. There are no satellites.
And that's not good.
Battle stations! Everyone with me, now!
Hang on!
And that's kind of a great opening. It's like, hey, these are 3 important characters. These are the 3 base classes in the game. Ta-da! And it's kind of foolish to think that an enemy armada would be able to sneak up on your planet if you have satellites and stuff, like, ever. That's never really a feasible thing. But, you know, whatever. You get attacked by overwhelming force. Even if you saw it coming, you still couldn't do anything about it.
Repeat, tower approach. This is City Hawk 723. Anyone home? No response on any channels. Even the emergency frequencies. What is going on back there? Remember when I told you that you fly too fast? Forget I said that. Fly fast.
The fact that your character doesn't have a voice is really irritating to me. It's like, hey, let's make a friggin' blank nobody character that you get to play as.
get moving. We need to find Zavala, Ikora, and Cade.
Controls are pretty good. Sounds are good. Looks nice.
The ball! This doesn't make sense. The Cabal conquer systems by blowing up planets. Whatever they want, it must be here, in the last city.
This is Commander Zavala. Civilians, report to evac points. Guardians, rendezvous in the plaza. Our city will not fall.
Boop in the head.
Cade!
Hey, you two, give me a sec. Zavala's doing the hero thing in the plaza. Me? I've got a date with whoever's behind this. It'll be a short date.
Over here, Titan. My armory is open to you. Follow the path from there. It will lead you through the hangar to the plaza. I'll take care of these people. If the Cabal want war, give them war.
This would have been a real cool place to have a fight instead of down here. Huh. The jetpacks on this class just seem much more responsive than the Warlocks.
Evacuation Order 77 is in effect. This is not a drill. All civilians report to designated evacuation areas immediately.
And having all these areas just makes you feel like, hey, maybe I should be looking around for some stuff, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing to find. Which is kind of unfortunate. You should always fill your game spaces with stuff. Especially in a loot-based shooter, you know? Light. After getting used to the mechanics, I'm just so much easier. First time I did this, I did not do well.
Look at the size of that thing. Must be their command ship.
Let's see. Do we have... Yeah, we do. Okay, we do start with a subclass, but it's got nothing unlocked. So that's really unfortunate right there. Oh, that's cool. It's a good time for that to run out.
You're not just assaulting the city. Look at the Traveler.
Okay, my ghost keeps tagging these Cabal as Red Legion. Cora, what do you got?
They're elite, ruthless, and rumor is they have never known defeat.
Until today. Today they face Guardians.
But Zavala, they're attacking the Traveler.
The Traveler waits. We protect our people at any cost.
The Traveler. What is that thing they're attaching to it?
I really, really like this part. It's like, hey, a tiny bit of... You know, there's some other players here. Crap, I'm out of ammo. That was awesome.
These Red Legion are well trained, but we are better. We will hold this line until the last civilian is safely away. Incoming! Fall back to my team!
Oh, balls. I did not make it to
Don't
the
let them
shield.
pass the gate! The evac shuttles are back there! We hold here.
The command ship is next on my list. Stay inside my shield!
More Red Legion! Show them what Guardians are made of!
I can't help but think that right here would have been a fantastic place to showcase the power of your character classes. Instead, I have a grenade and an ultimate ability. And while that ultimate ability is really cool, like, because of the way the story goes...
Zavala, the last of the shuttles is away. But the speaker, he never made it. I'm going to look for him.
I've got the plaza. Go with Ikora. Find the speaker.
We're on it, Commander.
And so, yeah, obvious spoiler, you lose all your powers. That's part of the story, and that's super cool. Except for this whole part is like, hey, you're the chosen one, and...
Ikora, the speaker is gone. Red Legion, you will take no more from us, and you will find no mercy in me. Zavala.
She'll find the speaker. We need to move on that command ship. Now head to the North Tower. I'm sending Amanda Holiday to pick you up.
Which button's melee? But you have all these characters who are badass or showing off badass powers, and it's like you're just a nobody. You're a nobody grunt. But then they kind of build you up. It's like, hey, you're our chosen guy. We're gonna put you on the enemy ship so that you can stop this whole thing from happening. It's like, you know what would have made this intro mission super amazing? If you had given people a moderately leveled up class. Lots of abilities to use. Then they'd be like, oh, this is what it feels like to be, you know, medium high level.
Someone told me you need a ride.
Because then it would work so well with the story that it's like, hey, you know, you're one of the badasses too, and then the story stuff happens, and then you lose your powers,
Zavala,
and you have to go and
picked
get
up
them
that
again.
Guardian you never shut up about?
Get them on that command ship now.
I mean, tons of games have done that
Hold
sort
on
of
back
thing.
there.
It's like, oh, you lose your powers because we need progression in this game. And it would have worked very well in this. Instead, it's just kind of like, eh.
Come on, big guy. Do something. All right, Guardian. Time to kick him where it hurts.
See, they do all this stuff to build up this really cool story, but then it just falls flat because you're not an interesting character at all in any way. Your powers aren't interesting. You have no character
Let
whatsoever.
us know when the shields are down and we'll hit that ship with everything we got.
You're just a nobody grunt, and that's a seriously missed opportunity. do think I like this jetpack a lot better than what I was using before. Might just be me, but it feels a lot more responsive.
That hologram could help. Let me take a look. Okay, the shield generator should be at the bottom of the ship.
He drops all this loot you can't even pick up because you haven't gotten far enough in it. That's a screw up. They should have coded that stuff
Low on
out.
ammo. Old flaming pit. Trapped burning out. Anyone heard from Akora?
Not since you went for the speaker. Form up! For me!
Run, bitch, run! That's weird. I like those fire effects. Those are nice. If you could get a flamethrower and stuff. Must not be able to headshot them, you have to hit the backpack. Yeah, this jump pack is infinitely better. the Warlock one, when I tried jumping down like that and then activate it to give me a vertical boost, it did not burst vertically at all.
The shield generator should be straight ahead.
It barely slowed my descent. I still fell straight to my death. So that's a very interesting difference between classes. Rather close.
All right, destroy the turbines. The shields should fizzle. Yes, just like that. Rising. It's working. Zavala, we did it. The shields are down. Zavala? Amanda, we're headed topside. Amanda! How do we come back from this?
You don't. Welcome to a world without light.
Guardian, something's wrong.
Don't take my box.
Do not look at me, creature. You are weak, undisciplined, cowering behind walls. You're not brave. You've merely forgotten the fear of death. Allow me to reacquaint you. Your kind never deserved the power you were given. I am Gaul, and your light is mine.
Boot to the head. So you lose your powers. That's super cool. It would have been infinitely better for the story if you had actually had real powers. Because, like, what did I lose right there? I lost a grenade power with a long cooldown, so that's terrible, like, meaningless. I lost the ability to slam the ground with electricity and electrocharge stuff with my ultimate. That was sort of cool, but, like, really, does any of that make me a badass at all in any way? It's like, no. So losing that for power is kind of like, meh. And in this next section, when you learn that, oh, your drone gives you the ability to revive. The light is what allows you to revive yourself from death. That's a pretty big thing, and I really like the way that they're using lore to describe game mechanics that way, because that's always fantastic. So that's a big thing. But other than that, you didn't really lose much. You lost your semi-immortality, which is a pretty big thing, but overall, mechanic-wise, it's not a big thing. And this part is terrible. Like, this whole section right here fails in every way to do what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to feel helpless and weak, and it's like, oh my god, there's enemies right there, and I am so weak. I'm just barely holding my crap together after falling that distance and losing my powers. But it's like, this area is way too wide open, and I'm all like, instead of feeling weak and scared, I'm just frustrated that I'm going so slow. It's like, oh, do I want to walk over there? No, because you know what? There's nothing over there. It's a giant empty space. Wasted game play area right there. It's like, you should not be able to walk anywhere but straight forward because of how fucktastically slow you are moving. And that's too bad that with so much good storytelling, they then have these just little pieces of terrible, terrible storytelling. And it's just so weird. They just do some things so well and then other things so bad. Which is, I guess, is the way to sum up this whole game. Because the gunplay is pretty good, but their classes are terrible. Their classes are a monumental waste. Because even after you level up some, it's like, oh, your 2 core abilities is you got a grenade that you level up, and you've got your jetpacks that you level up. And you don't even level them up, really. They just get different quirks, different functionality. Neither one of those should be tied to classes, really.
Guardian. You're alive. I thought I lost you. I can heal you, but I can't resurrect you. Not since. Guardian, the light is gone. They've taken the city, the Traveler, everything. The Red Legion is killing powerless Guardians. We have to get out of here.
I haven't unlocked the advanced, like, the right side of...
I'm picking up an emergency broadcast. Rendezvous coordinates. They're evacuating the planet. We're on our own.
See, that's pretty good storytelling right there, that last part of it. But the classes in this are so bad. Because there's just nothing to them. You get 2 ability. Every class has a grenade ability, which is pretty terrible. Like, just the fact that, hey, everybody's got a grenade ability is like, why did anybody think that was okay? Like, your primary soldier assault class should have grenades. Everybody else should have different abilities. And then everybody has jetpack abilities. It's like, everybody should have a jetpack by default, if anybody does, unless you specifically have a character that's a class that's more mobile than everybody else. But saying you have unlockable jetpack abilities is really stupid, because all they do in this game is change the way that your double jump moves you. And it's just depressingly bad. And then everybody gets 2 abilities, which are, from what I've seen so far, kind of just meh.
These Guardians, they had no chance without their powers. That could be us. Guardian, if you die, I can't resurrect you. We need to be very careful.
I love the music here. Makes it feel like it's a desperate fight for your life. The sprinting is really bugged in this area. It like starts the animation, but then it doesn't continue it. You get that warning on the bottom. There's like, hey, you're going out of bounds. It's like that. It's really bad.
It's that Falcon again. Is it following us, or are we following it?
So unless like the right side of the subclass menu like really opens up some monumentally game-changing stuff to make it so that your play style changes completely when you build a certain way, then the classes in this game are just like graphical flair, really. They don't do anything. Because you compare the classes in this with other loot-based shooters, and it's just like, they're a joke. They're barely even halfway designed. Like that, bitch. Prey on the weak. You ugly. Good place for loot right there. It's just level design. But like, you compare the classes in this to like Diablo. It's like Diablo 3, your classes have tons of abilities and they can sync up together and do lots of different stuff. Or you compare them to like Borderlands. It's like the characters in Borderlands are just amazing. There's tons of character to them. And And then you also can make different builds with your progression trees to do all sorts of different stuff, which seems this game has none of at all. Or you compare this to Warframe, and it's like the frames in Warframe just have lots of amazingly interesting abilities that all fit to make kits that play certain play styles.
But wait, where are you all going?
And the classes in this just don't seem to have that at all. This is mostly just Call of Duty with a little bit of flair.
That Falcon, it belongs to you?
The name's Hawthorne, and this is Lewis. Best pilot we got. What about you? Fit to fly? Probably gonna need one of these, too. Time to make yourself useful, Guardian. All right, people, spin 'em up! Got a long flight ahead of us!
Dominus, the city is secure. Those who fled are being hunted, and those foolish enough to remain have been executed. Victory, as with all things, is yours to claim.
This victory is as much yours as mine, old friend.
All that remains is the completion of the cage around this great machine. Then we may begin the extraction of its power, and put it to its rightful use.
They call it the Traveler.
I would contend that other civilizations may be more precise in their naming. Its functions can be controlled and exploited, as we have so clearly proven.
Yet they believe it to be a god.
Dominus. Gaul. We have spent our lives, you and I, working to reshape our society, reforge our people, rebuild an empire nearly destroyed by Callus's greed and corruption. There is nothing in this universe greater than you. The Red Legion will have that machine's power. You will be called Emperor. What more would the Dominus have?
I would have words with my guest. So, you're the one who speaks for the Traveler.
Never played the first game, so that probably has something to do with the previous lore. No idea who that is. So it means nothing to me.
Coming up on the European Dead Zone. Gonna be our new home for a while.
Look, do you recognize it? That's where we're supposed to go.
That thing? They call it the Shard of the Traveler. I call it not a place you want to go poking around.
It's So I really like the feel of, you know, you gotta go to this next mission, you go and you get some of your powers back and you start from the bottom and start leveling up. And that's really cool, and it just would have been infinitely better if you had started off as a fairly powerful character. Because then you would have seen, oh, hey, you know what, this is what higher level gameplay is like. That's super awesome. That makes me want to get there.
Checking now. Hi.
So the game looks great, and the weapons play pretty good. I mean, they're really basic so far. Everything I've found is like, oh, this is a sniper rifle, this is an assault rifle, this is a burst rifle, this is a pistol. I would hope later on that there's some variety and interesting weapons. Cause like I'm tired of all these like futuristic games. It's like, oh, we've got a future assault rifle, a future pistol, a future light machine gun. It's like, where's the energy weapons? Where's the friggin' bio weapons? Where's the? I want interesting stuff that just does weird mechanics. And like Warframe is the only game so far that really delves into that sort of stuff. They've introduced weapons that have just crazy mechanics, and that's super fun. Borderlands 2 did a bit of it. The pre-sequel did sort of less. I mean, they introduced a new base type weapon, the lasers, that had like 3 or 4 different variants that were sort of pretty cool, but like I want stuff that shoots energy orbs and friggin' acid bursts and proxy mines and delayed burst explosions and just lots of interesting stuff. Chain lightning guns, flamethrowers, cryo throwers, weapons that have homing ammunition but do very low damage. Not like smart pistols, but you know, like lock-ons, and then you can aim them anywhere. And their bullets heat seek. Just interesting stuff that mechanically is fun to use. But most of all, classes. Classes that are interesting and do things. Because for these, you just got the 2 abilities that are over there, and then some locked things over here. But like you look at Borderlands and it's like you get whole skill trees, and this game needs that desperately. Like desperately needs interesting subclasses that have skill trees that you can really build your own play style, because that's what these games need. Is like you need to have a play style, and they need to be able to be different. So you can approach the game in different ways, do different things, have fun with it. And so it just seems really sad that you get this beautiful game where some of the mechanics are really good, like just that, I like that. Not a lot of games have auto vaulting and stuff. It could have a lot more. Like Brink tried to do super parkour vaulting everywhere, and that was really great, but so many other parts of that game were so bad. Nobody else has really tried it that much.
I think he was looking at you funny because you're a bird.
Hey, hey, hey. I wonder what happened to Aphrodite.
Look at that water. There's some beautiful water.
Why would one of those be up here?
And you got all kinds of different armor you can get.
Hi.
And the base way you level up in this is you've got your overall level that gives you skill points to put into your subclasses, and then you've got your power rating, which is like, if you've played an MMO, it's your... item level, which determines how much survivability and damage you can output, because everything has a power level. Which allows you to have nearly infinite progression, basically, because the enemies will just get stronger stat-wise, and you get stronger stat-wise. Which, on the one hand, is pretty great, that it's simple like that, but on the other hand, you need a lot more mechanics to flesh that out, instead of just having, oh, your level 100 pistol is the same as your level 1 pistol. It just does more damage. So there needs to be a massively wider variety of weapons. And maybe there is at higher level, but honestly, considering how many other games don't do that, I would be surprised if this one does. Because really, Borderlands and Warframe are the only games that have even tried some unique different weapons. I mean, you look at everything in Call of Duty, and it's like they're the same friggin' weapons for the last 20 plus years. Same with Battlefield. It's like it's just the same stuff over and over and over again. I didn't play any of their like more futuristic games, but I've heard that it's just this more of the same, which is very disappointing. So yeah. I don't see anything here that would really pull me away from playing Warframe. It's got more story. The story is definitely built up better than Warframe's. But overall, the classes make the game. Because
Just ignore the bird.
no matter what you have for story, it's the core. It's a looter shooter, so you're gonna be grinding. You're gonna be doing the same things over and over and over again, different places, different looks. So the only things that matter is the core gameplay loop. So you need to have good classes that can have lots of different ways to be built and interesting weapons. Those are the things you need to make a loot-based game. And this seems to not have those, which is unfortunate.
That's you and me talk.
So that's basically my review for this, after just playing, you know, the first couple of levels, doing a couple public quests and stuff in the open area after the prelude. It's just, it's good, but it should have been so much better. I kind of hope that Borderlands 3 kind of takes hints from this and Diablo 3, and then it could just be unbelievably amazing. And maybe if they decide to, hey, let's stick with this game and make Destiny 2 a lot better, and just keep putting out expansions for it, and they'll eventually reform all of their class structure and weapons stuff, and this game could easily become so much better.
How can I help?
I mean, you look at Warframe when it first came out, and it was a pale shadow of what it is now. It's still, certain things about it need a lot of work, but they've come a long way since that game first came out in early beta. And if they put that sort of effort into this game, this could get a lot better. They need to completely rethink the way that their classes work and make some good weapons and builds. So, that's it for that. It's meh. If you've already put time in Warframe, then stick with Warframe. If you haven't played anything, play this or Warframe, depending upon what kind of grinds you like. But this being their second attempt at a game like this, it's for PC. We've already had a lot of good looter shooters, so this should have been a lot better.